man was not the only mammal that sought shelter in caves. The cave bear was a regular underground visitor. It was the largest carnivore in Europe in the Quaternary era. We can get an idea of how incredibly strong this animal was thanks to the bones found in caves, particularly those in southern Germany in the Karlsruhe region, or here in the Ursulor caves in Romania.
Cave bears sometimes adventured far into these underground galleries. Here they were sheltered from the cold, but the humidity in the depths helped propagate disease. Cave bears, having no predators, became increasingly lazy. They moved around less, and this led to greater inbreeding and eventually to the end of the species. The last cave bear died 10,000 years ago, perhaps at the end of one of these dark tunnels.
Caves occur most frequently in mountains that are karstic, in other words, composed of limestone. Such mountains are common in Europe. Karst regions, whether they be in Italy, Greece, or Yugoslavia, have certain characteristics in common. They're generally riddled with caverns, have a rough terrain, and are not very fertile. So they're hardly favorable to agriculture, unless it's raising a few sheep. Shepherds prefer staying away from these dark holes. Not only because there's a high risk of sheep getting lost in them, but also because these caves are said to be the home of evil spirits, monsters, and elves.
Caves have given rise to 1,000 legends. One particular tale takes place in southern France, in the heart of the Hérault canyons. A farmer lived here on the riverbank with his wife and children, all of his children, that is, except one, his oldest son, who worked as a shepherd high on the plateau, watching the flocks on the coast, as it's called here.
To keep himself busy, the lonely young shepherd whittled stick after stick. With a few quick strokes, he'd carve a rough sign and toss his rough handiwork into a big opening in the plateau. One day, walking down into the valley to visit his parents, he was surprised to discover several sticks he'd carved floating in the Hérault.
Having discovered there was a link between the opening on the plateau and the river, he used this odd waterborne postal system to communicate with his mother when he returned to his flocks. But one day, the young boy fell into the hole while trying to rescue one of his sheep. Later, down in the valley, his poor mother found her son's lifeless body floating in the calm waters of the Hérault River. The gorges echoed a long time with her laments. This legend is the origin of the name of this now famous cave, the Clamouse, which in the local dialect means the howler.
The region, in a 100-kilometer radius around the Clamouse, is filled with underground marvels unlike anything in the world.